Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the penultimate video like this. Again, these are my SBR and ESBR runs taken from stream a few days ago. I just wanted to get these up as videos, especially if you hadn't completed stages like this. I wanted to, at least have some like video documentation. So, if you need help completing the event and seeing what I used and what you could potentially use as alternative units or categories, then I can also, help you with that. But I also just essentially wanted to document me doing these, which I was meant to originally do, but because of time and all the other content covering, just never really got around to it. So this is why we're doing it like this. Once again, I'm going to do the intro. We're going to go through the units you could use, the units and teams I used, and any other alternatives. And then there's my wonderful voice is going to disappear, and you're going to have some sped up gameplay from my ESBR and SBR runs with an OST in the back. And if you want to carry on watching, then that's great. If you don't, then please carry on watching. But yeah, that's how we're going to do this. And this is the penultimate one. After this, we only have one more, which is the Earthlings SBR. But this is the margin power only SBR, which again, SBR, a little bit easier than ESBR, so you don't have to worry too much. But, don't underestimate it too much when it comes to getting hit by a super attack. They can still clock you for some damage, so don't underestimate it. This is the team I took, of course. This guy is a must. He is just a must because he is a margin power lead. So he is kind of a must, a definite must. I must repeat the word must. Not to mention as well, he's also very good. Not only does he recover HP, which a lot of Buu units do. I know his defense isn't the best, but if you do get an 18 key off and you keep hitting the 18 key, which is very easy because he gives himself key, he can raise his defense probably in about 2 turns where he's fine. And not to mention he has a built-in additional, which means he'll also be raising his attack on 12 key as well. So there is that. So definitely want to be bringing him, especially for the lead. A lot of people in stream screamed at me, take JANEMBUU, and I have to say they were not wrong. They were not wrong. I went out of my way to go get the medals to awaken him and then easy A him. You don't need him SA 15. SA 10's fine because that's mainly what he does, is what he does when he easy A's. But definitely take him. He does stack, which is not necessarily perfect or ideal for Super Battle Road, but it's definitely handy because on top of that, he does get attack and defense plus 120. He gets an additional attack and defense plus 60% per extreme class ally, which all your allies are going to be extreme class. So you have attack and defense plus 180 at the start of time, which is really nice. But here's where he's handy. Having that medium chance of evading enemy's attack and guards all attacks within the same turn after evading an attack. So if he evades, he will guard. On top of his defense, as good as it is at the start of turn, he will guard. And on top of the fact that, again, while it's not ideal here, he will be stacking a little bit. Defensively, very, very good here. So definitely bring him. And then we have Skinny Buu, again, purely for the evade. Solid defense and stunning. We also brought this guy as well, who, again, this guy isn't the best. But again, not only that, he does have a high chance of evading enemy's attack when there's a Majin Buu Saga category enemy, which there is for the most part as well. So definitely bring him for the evade, and also he does have all enemies minus attack and defense plus 20%, which doesn't do a lot, but it does a little bit. But bring him as well for the evade. 21's very handy as well because her damage output is pretty good. Defensively, she's okay with all the additional attack and defense plus 21%. Here and there, you may want to use an item around her. And a lot of the Buu units, they recover HP as well, so that helps you kind of self-sustain your HP and also kind of hold on to some items. Kid Buu as well does raise attack and defense on super. Defensively isn't the best. He does support extreme class allies by key, which kind of handy for LR Buu tanks, and if you're struggling to get key for some of the other units, yes, but it's not really that important. He's mainly here for damage output. Again, you probably want to be using items around him as well, but for the most part, he is there for damage output. In terms of alternative options, again, this is another one where you don't really have too many. I'll be completely honest, because margin power is just filled with Buu type units. If you're really lacking, you could take him, but he's really not great. But I mean, that's if you're really lacking. I mean, for the best part, if you do need to take him, float him, use items to help him. If you have the transforming Buu, the tech one, you could take him. I don't have him personally. And again, if you are lacking, you could take this guy, but defensively just isn't good. But I mean, as long as you give him loads of orbs, you can recover HP and get defense plus 10%. So, I mean, as long as you're feeding him loads of orbs, he's kind of okay. Again, you want to use your items around him. There is this guy who's not bad, does raise defense for 1 turn, and he does raise attack and defense up to 100% the more HP remaining, which with units that recover HP, not too bad. He also reduces damage received by 27% when HP is 80% or more, and also recovers HP by 5% when attacked. So you could take him as well, not too bad. Again, here and there, you probably want to use items around him. Other than that, you could use him, but he does need to build up his defense with each attack received. So again, there is that. But then again, if you really are lacking units, you could take him. But again, it is kind of a risk because you do need to build up his defense. This Buu isn't great, but I mean, he does... No, you definitely don't want to take him. He only has a rare chance to stun. Do not take him. I mean, as I said, you don't have a lot of options. So, I mean, if you're lacking some of the more important ones, like LR Buu tank for 1, because he's the lead, immediately, obviously, you don't want to be attempting this. Skinny Buu and JANEMBUU, those 3 are kind of the main, you know, they're kind of the go-to unit. So, I mean, if you're kind of missing them, you obviously probably don't want to give this a go. If I'm being completely honest. As I said, as you can see here, there's no alternatives. There's hardly any alternatives in the first place, let alone good alternatives. So yeah, hopefully it's been useful to you. As I said, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you next video, guys, and push.